For 99% of human history, nobody bathed regularly. Not because they didn't care, because the concept didn't really exist. And yet, ancient humans were not constantly disgusted by each other. Their noses were calibrated to a completely different baseline. One so different from ours that if you could time travel and stand in a Paleolithic camp, the first thing that would hit you wouldn't be the smell of people. It would be the absence of something you don't even know you're smelling right now. Here's what's actually happening. Your nose is surrounded all day by synthetic scent, detergent, shampoo, deodorant, plastic packaging, cleaning products, car interiors, scented candles, air fresheners. None of this existed before the last couple hundred years, and most of it is younger than your grandparents. Your brain has built its entire baseline for neutral around a chemical fog that didn't exist for 99% of the time humans have been alive. Ancient humans had no baseline like that. Their neutral was the smell of their own skin, their own sweat, wood smoke, animal hide, the earth they slept on. That was just air. Not good air or bad air, air. And here's what's strange. Human body odor isn't actually a flaw in the system. It's a signal. And for most of human history, it was doing a job your modern hygiene routine actively erases. The smell your skin produces comes largely from bacteria breaking down sweat, specifically apocrine sweat, the kind released from glands concentrated in your armpits, groin, and scalp. This sweat is odorless on its own. The smell comes from bacteria metabolizing it, and the specific blend of bacteria on your skin is, to some degree, genetically determined, which means body odor wasn't just you smell, it was information. Researchers have found that humans can distinguish relatives from non-relatives by smell alone, and that body odor carries signals related to immune system compatibility. The same genes, called MHC genes, that influence what your body can fight off. In simpler terms, for most of human history, smell may have functioned as a subtle filter for choosing mates with different immune profiles than your own, which produces offspring with broader immune defenses. Your ancestors weren't just smelling human. They were smelling genetic information they couldn't consciously decode, but could absolutely react to. This is the part that should stop you for a second. Modern deodorant doesn't just mask a smell. It specifically targets the bacteria responsible for producing it. And in doing so, may be quietly muting a channel of information humans have been unconsciously reading for hundreds of thousands of years. Nobody is saying you should stop using deodorant. But it's worth sitting with the idea that one of the most mundane products in your bathroom is doing something stranger than smelling nice. It's interrupting a signal older than language. Now go back to that Paleolithic camp. What would it have actually smelled like? Wood smoke. Constantly. Fire was the center of daily life, and everything near it absorbed that smell. Clothing, hair, skin, food. Smoke wasn't an occasional smell. It was baked into people the way laundry detergent is baked into your clothes now. Animal hide and fur, worn as clothing, slept on, carried. Untanned or minimally treated hide has a strong, distinct smell that modern humans almost never encounter. Rendered fat, used for everything, from cooking to waterproofing to fuel for lamps. The smell of animal fat, slightly oxidized, would have been a constant background note, and underneath all of it, human bodies, unmasked. Sweat, skin oils, breath, all carrying that bacterial signature, that genetic information, completely exposed. To you, walking into that camp, this combination might register as overwhelming, pungent, possibly nauseating. To them, it would have registered as something closer to what walking into your grandmother's kitchen feels like to you. Familiar, specific, home. Here's what nobody tells you about ancient hygiene. It wasn't absent. It was just organized around completely different priorities, and in some cases, it was more frequent than what most people did just a few hundred years ago. Archaeological and historical evidence suggests that some ancient societies bathed regularly, not for the reasons we do now, but as part of social, religious, or medicinal practice. Public bathing existed in various forms across multiple ancient civilizations. The idea that ancient Arsadurs dirty and modern Caçadores are clean isn't actually a straight line through history. What actually happened is messier. There were periods, particularly in parts of medieval Europe, where bathing became less common than it had been in earlier eras, partly due to the cost of heating water and partly due to shifting beliefs about water and disease. So the smell of ancient humans isn't one smell. It's many different smells across tens of thousands of years and thousands of cultures. And the version most people imagine, The unwashed caveman is really a snapshot of one specific, relatively recent period being projected backward onto all of human history. And here's what's strange about what happens next. The thing that changed everything wasn't soap. It was the ability to mass produce scent-free, then artificially scented products at a price almost everyone could afford. Synthetic fragrance chemistry exploded in the last 150 years or so, and with it came something genuinely new in human history: the expectation that the human body, in its default state, smells wrong. Not dirty, wrong. A problem to be solved every single day, preemptively, before anyone else can detect it. No culture, at any point before this, operated on that assumption. Smell was a part of you. Sometimes a part you tried to manage during illness or after specific activities, but not a constant low-grade threat requiring daily chemical intervention. This is the part that's easy to miss. Your sense of smell is directly wired into the part of your brain that handles memory and emotion, more directly than any other sense, which means the smells you grew up around aren't just familiar, they're load-bearing. They're part of how your brain organizes the categories of safe, family, home, threat, stranger. For someone born in the last 100 years, that foundational smell memory is built almost entirely on synthetic compounds. Vanilla that never touched a vanilla bean. Clean linen that has nothing to do with linen or cleanliness in any literal sense. Fresh scents engineered in labs to trigger a sensation of freshness that has no natural reference point at all. For someone born 60,000 years ago, that same foundational layer was wood smoke, hide, fat, and skin. Neither version is more real. Both are just what each brain learned to file under normal, but only one of those versions is something a company designed, tested, and sold to you. Every time you walk past someone wearing strong perfume and feel a flicker of something, irritation, attraction, nostalgia, nausea, that reaction is running on hardware, built for a completely different chemical world. A world where every smell meant something real. This person is related to me, this fire is mine, this animal is dangerous, this food has gone bad. Your nose still works exactly like that. It's just that almost nothing you smell anymore is information. Most of it is branding. Ancient humans didn't smell better or worse than you. They smelled like information. You mostly smell like a product. And somewhere underneath the deodorant, the detergent, the candles, and the air freshener, your body is still quietly doing what it's done for hundreds of thousands of years, sending out a signal almost nobody is built to receive anymore.